And so I'd like to begin my talk with asking you to imagine two different kitchens for me. So for the first kitchen, go to your kitchen at home. It's during a festival, things are busy, you've got two, three people who are running around inside the kitchen, getting everything ready. There's a pot of boiling oil where random snacks are being fried. There's a pressure cooker going off somewhere in the corner. The kitchen's filled with dishes that are in various stages of completion. And you've got other people who are in the house who are outside the kitchen. They'll keep coming in. They'll be like, I'm hungry. When's the food going to be ready? But they have no idea the pressure that's going on inside. The second kitchen is a professional kitchen, the one you see in restaurants. And over there, the orders are just flooding in. You've got three different people. You've got three different people who are placing an order. One wants their dish to be extremely spicy. One wants their dish to have no oil at all because they have health restrictions. And you have to remember all these small details in the middle of all of the other things that are coming in. And each of these dishes have to be coordinated. Your rice dishes have to go with your curry dishes. The curry dishes have to go with the breads. The breads have to go with every single small side that goes with it. And if you miss one single thing, people's experience is going to be ruined. And in the hospitality industry, the hands that are behind this are often invisible. And the effort that goes behind it is often underestimated. Sorry, just one moment. The amount of time and energy that's spent planning and organizing when it comes to food is endless. For your typical restaurant, even before your restaurant can feed a single customer, you're going to spend hundreds to thousands of hours planning every small detail. What fabric do I want to use for my tablecloth? Is my menu engineered properly? Have I got the correct suppliers for my food? Have I set up standardized recipes through which the recipes can be cooked by others? Because I can't be running behind the field the entire time, micromanaging everyone. And similarly, when cooking at home, whoever happens to be cooking at home for you, they have to bear in mind everyone's restrictions, everyone's preferences, and still create a wholesome, healthy meal. You might have someone at home who's diabetic. They can't have white rice. They can't have potatoes. You might have personal preferences. Oh, I can't eat brinjal. I'm allergic to it. And last minute, have to plan your way around all of these things. It's not the easiest task to get through, and yet people power through. And even while powering through, the challenges come in two main forms, physical and mental. Physical, you can get cut. You can get burned. You can slip and fall down in a kitchen. You never know when these things are going to happen. And mentally as well, there's this pressure to perform that everything has to be perfect because you never know what could ruin a person's experience just because one small thing was off for them. And yet, with all of this pressure, you still have to keep powering through. There's a story I have for this, where this was during my stint when I was an international intern at the JW Marriott in Charlotte. This was around Christmas time, and we were getting ready to host the Green Bay Packers, who are an American football team. And to give you context of how seriously Americans take their football, it's as seriously as we Indians take cricket. So it's a pretty big deal to host major athletes. And so we finished our dinner program at around 11 p.m. and we'd finished prepping for the next day. And we were told that we had to report back to work at 5 a.m. the next day. So I was riding home on my small electric scooter when I fell down, and I was going around 25 kilometers an hour. I fell on my knee, I had bruises on my face, and I still had to drag myself back to work the next day with all of that pain that I was going through. I had no idea what happened to my body, whether I broke a bone. But there was this pressure that I need to be there, I need to support my team, because without me, the things are not going to go as planned. The story also follows me back home. So, when we're at home, I like to picture the lunch bag we bring to school. And watching TV shows as a kid, I used to see these lunch bags being given as this small brown paper bag with one tiny lunch inside. And I used to wonder how people get by with such little food because growing up, I was blessed. My mother used to pack 5 boxes of food for me to have throughout the day. And this was a privilege that I never realized I had. Because on top of packing food for me, my mother also had to plan for my brother, my father, any guests we had at home. And also she had to plan food, she also had to coordinate all the other things in the house because as a housemaker, the kitchen's not your only responsibility. She also has to keep the entire house clean when festivals comes up. She has to take care of all the other things that come up. And this pressure leads to there's this tendency that you can't slip up, you can't take a break, you can't just step away when things aren't going your way. So you have to keep powering through. And coming back to the lunchbox that I mentioned, so one of these 5 boxes that I had was a small box of dry fruits. And as a kid, I had an aversion to dry fruits. I never really liked them. And no adult is there to force me to eat them. So, but my mom packed it with a wholesome intention that it's a healthy evening snack for me to have on my way back home. But because no one's there to force me, what do? I just took the box. I threw it at a bunch, like I used to empty it out into a bunch of plants and go back home to show my mom, hey, I've eaten my food. One day my mom caught me and then she told me, hey, don't waste food. Like, there's amount of, like, it's healthy for you. And as a kid, I thought she was just nagging me. Like, I don't like this food. Why am I going to eat it? But what I did not realize is I was also just throwing away all that energy and effort that went behind it. The thought that someone is doing this for my own good and going out of their way to do something good for me. And yet, I just disrespected it. And that's where I realized that in the world of hospitality, this is very prevalent. That it can be anywhere from a fine plated 3 Michelin star restaurant to the box of chapatis and rajma that you take with you when you go to work. Each meal gives this, it's literally a source of life because it's keeping you running. And yet, a lot of people just casually disregard this. And no one really knows the luxury of this more than the people who have to be behind it. Because if I ask you to picture what a chef looks like when they're trying to eat while at work, they're usually just hunched behind their counter, having this plate and just hurriedly stuffing the food down because they don't want to be caught by a customer eating. And they have to get back to work. They can't really just sit and enjoy the meal the way the customers they're serving are. And similarly, back at home, if you're a homemaker, you have to designate time saying, I have to finish all these tasks, then I can get 15 minutes to sit down and have my own food. And if anything gets in the way of that, you have to make sacrifices somewhere. And there have been days that I've come home and so I used to get home from school around 4 o'clock. And I used to see my mom still hadn't had lunch and I used to ask her, what happened? And so I used to force her to sit down and have her lunch because I had to make sure she stayed healthy. Because when the primary person who's taking care of you falls sick, everything comes to a standstill. So, as an example, so in the house that I grew up, we were very traditional. You're not allowed to order food in, especially when you're sick, because you never know what's going to go into the food. You, as a person who's sick, you need only the hottest, freshest food that is there, and that can only be made at home. So the rest of us had to learn to fend for ourselves and somehow take care of the house, take care of our own responsibilities, and also try to bring our mother, like, make her feel better so that she can come back and take those responsibilities again. And only once you're in those shoes, you really start to feel the pressure. You finally start to understand the effort that it takes to get behind all that. So the field of hospitality is not for everyone. And I began to realize this as I journeyed into it. Because I was studying science all through 12th. And I was expected to follow the typical field. I went for JEE coaching. I was good at science. So everyone thought, okay, I'm going to follow my dad's footsteps and get into science. But once the time came around for decision making and everyone started asking me what I wanted to do, I began to realize I enjoy making people happy. And so I want to be in hospitality. I want to be a chef. I want to work with food and get to the one thing I can get to people's hearts as easy as possible. So being very supportive of this, my parents tried to arrange interviews with chefs to try to help me get some insight into the field. And the first thing almost every chef asked me is, are you sure you want to do this? Because this field is not for everyone. And initially, that's what it felt like, that, oh, he's probably just trying to dissuade me and test me to see whether I'm actually in this for the passion of it. But only once you're in it, you actually start to realize that it actually isn't the easiest field to be in. That, for example, as an intern, when I had to work, I was made to work at least 6 days a week for 12 to 13 hours a day. As an intern, I was just starting out. And you're made to run around and do every small menial task that everyone above you, which is literally everybody else in the hotel, because you're at the bottom of the food chain. So everyone's assigning you their tasks and their responsibilities, and you somehow have to learn to juggle all of it. And not everyone has the mental strength to take on all of that. So that's one of the main reasons the hospitality industry has a pretty high turnover rate. Everyone keeps jumping ship because they're not able to take the pressure of being in that place and having to fight it out and actually persevere. And one lesson that I'd like to ask everyone to take from here is there's two main ways you can actually start to appreciate anyone who does a service to you. The first step is to acknowledge that the service has been done. And this is as simple as saying thank you. It can be to anyone. It can be to whoever puts the food on your table when you're eating. It can be to a delivery guy who's rushed through traffic to get groceries for you. That acknowledgement gives them this, it shines a light on them. It shows that, hey, we see this effort that you're putting into your work. And we know that you are trying. And the second one, this is slightly more complicated, is to put yourself in their shoes, to actually do what they're doing. And this can start at home as well. When you happen to be at home and you have a bit of time on your hands, go into the kitchen and ask, hey, how can I help? Is there anything I can do? Can I clean the dishes for you? And as you slowly start to get into these shoes, you begin to actually see the effort and the energy that it needs to get behind it and take care of what is seen as very small and menial tasks by everybody else. But in reality, these are tasks that keep the world going around. And that's about it. So I do hope that this has helped some of you. I do hope to see more thankfulness to people who do services to you, especially in the hospitality industry and at home. Because no household should have to be run by one person all by themselves. Thank you.